Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how you can retouch skin in just 2 simple steps using Photoshop. We're simply gonna go from this to this. My name is Jacques and I'm a self-taught retoucher. Everything I know I've learned from videos and tutorials just like this, and I'd like to share some of that knowledge with you. Today's topic: skin retouching. So let's talk about the first step, which is the cleanup. What I mean with the cleanup is to remove anything that could be considered a distraction. Things such as dirt, blemishes, stray hairs, pimples, things you probably wouldn't even notice or see in real life. Other than that, I won't go into details as to what exactly we're looking to remove, as that topic requires its own separate video, so for now, use your own judgment. The tools we will be using for this step are the clone stamp tool and the healing brush. You can find them right here in the toolbar. It's this icon right here is the clone stamp tool, and up here we have the healing brush. If for any reason you do not see these two icons, make sure the toolbar icon is checked by going to Window, scroll down in this drop down menu and check here that tool is checked. What are they and how do they work? Essentially, they replace an area with the sampled pixels from a different area you have sourced from. Let me give you an example. First, I'm gonna make a new blank layer, like so. Then make sure we have the clone stamp tool selected. Let's say we have this area over here. Maybe I want this area to look more similar to this texture right here. So I'm gonna hold Alt or Option, depending if you're using Windows or Mac. In my case, I'm using Mac, so I'm gonna hold the Option key. Notice how the cursor changes. Then I can source from this area by clicking once. And as you see, I'm getting that little preview of what it's going to clone. I'm gonna brush here, and just like that, this area has been cloned now to the new area. And now let me give you an example of how the healing brush works. Healing brush is similar, but it works a little bit different. It won't make an exact copy of the source pixels. Instead, this tool will make some more calculations while also taking the luminosity of the area into account, as it tries to blend and replace the pixels where you brush. Now let's try the healing brush tool. Same thing again. Hold the Option key. Click to source an area. And now I'm gonna brush here. And let go. And as you see, that area has also been replaced. Just the clone stamp tool and the healing brush. And that's basically the idea behind removing things in an image. The last few things I want you to know is the following. If you click and hold either one of these tools, you will see a drop-down menu where you have the option to choose some different variations of these tools. I encourage you to experiment with the other options, as they also have their time and place, but for today, we will be sticking to the basics. The next thing I want you to look at is the menu bar up here. Notice all the different settings. All of these will affect how the selected tool behaves, so keep that in mind. And notice how it also changes as I toggle between the two. Going over these settings quickly, you start all the way here on the left, healing brush tool. You see you can affect things like size, hardness, spacing of the tool, even the angle. You can even choose if you want the pen pressure on or not, if you're using a pen tablet. You have the mode of the tool. You can use things like darken, lighten. And over here, which is also very important, here you will choose where essentially the tool is sourcing from, either the current layer, current and below, and all layers. If we go to the clone stamp tool, you will see other options here, such as opacity and flow. Play with these, figure out what works best for you. Now that you understand how these tools work, it all comes down to practice. So let's do that right now. I'm going to delete this group with the previous retouch. Then I'm going to make a new blank layer where we will do our retouch. We don't want to work on the original layer. We're going to switch between the clone stamp tool and the healing brush as we work our way through this image. I'm going to jump now in a little time lapse using only the clone stamp tool and the healing brush. I'll be right back for the next step. And with that, we are back, and this is the result thus far. The changes might be subtle, but as you do more and more, it all adds up to the final result. Let me show you a little bit of what we have done. I turn the layer on and off. See, very subtle, small changes, but it all helps. And now we can move on to step 2, which is dodge and burn. Dodging and burning is going to be a little bit easier to do and understand. However, it's much harder to master. That is why I'll be making a separate video where I'll be going in more details on this topic. The idea behind dodging and burning is to lighten or darken areas in an image. There are different ways to do it, and today I'm going to show you the 2 most common ways. First method is using curves. Let's first set it up. I'm going to make a new group. I'm going to call that Dodge and Burn. Go to this icon right here. You can find it down below. And you can see here curves. Or you can also check here in the toolbar, same icon again. Click on it, curves. We're going to name this one darken. And I'll drag this a little bit down. You can find this in the properties panel for the curves. And then we're going to hide this effect by making the mask black by pressing Command I. Remember, white reveals, black conceals. And then we're going to go to this other curve. We're going to name it lighten. And we're going to go to the properties panel, drag this curve a little bit up, and we're going to hide it too by making the mask black. The first one you can use it to lighten, and the second one you can use it to darken certain areas in the image. Let me give you a quick demonstration. Right now I have the brush selected, and I'm just going to have opacity and flow at 100% so we can see the effect. And if I brush here, as you can see, it's making the area lighter. If I go to the darken, I'm brushing again with the white brush to reveal the effect, and that will make things darker. So of course, we don't want to do this at 100%. This is in effect, you want to build it up gradually as you go. Personally, I prefer working with flow, and I always have my flow set up to 1% flow, so I can slowly but surely build up the effect as I brush. Another tip, we're gonna go here, solid color, make it a black, and put this to color. This layer is simply a visual aid which will help us stay focused on only the luminosity issues in the image. We won't be distracted by color. Another way to dodge and burn I want to show you today is with a blank or gray layer set to soft light. New blank layer, soft light. On this layer, you can lighten by brushing with a white brush and darken by brushing with a black brush. When dodging and burning, we're looking for areas that stand out as too light or too dark, patchy, rough, or sharp transitions. We're looking to correct these areas as we see fit. Just make sure you do not touch the form shadows. That's a very common mistake that beginners make, making the image completely flat. That said, you should now have a basic grasp of the tools you can use for dodging and burning. And before I forget, look at your brush settings. I like to work with a soft, round brush, 0% hardness, opacity 100%, and flow of 1%. Sometimes I may change these depending on the situation, but in general, these are my preferred settings. Let's put all of that into practice, and I'll be right back after this quick time lapse. We're now back, and this is the result. We accomplished all of this in just 2 steps. The first being cleanup, and the second step was dodge and burn. Let's go real quick through these groups. I'm just gonna put it up. As you can see, this was the result of dodge and burn. Both together. Now that you've seen how simple it can be, it's your turn to do the same. So make sure you put in the time and practice. In the beginning you may be somewhat slow, but as you do it more and more, you will get better and you will get faster. I hope this has been helpful to you. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any future updates. If you have enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend. And thank you for watching. Till next time.